All right, let's welcome USC to the media room, starting with Coach. Coach, how would you assess your team's performance today?
Yeah, super proud of the effort. You know, in the first half, we were discombobulated with their physicality. Offensively, a lack of rhythm. You know, we were really fortunate that Rodney Rice got hot during that stretch in the first half, and then halftime had to make an adjustment on our, who was playing the point guard position. I thought we did a phenomenal job. It was a really good second half for us, obviously. And then coming into the game, we felt the theme or the story of the game was going to be, the battle of the boards. And, we doubled them up on O boards and won the battle of the glass by 14. So against a really physical team. So super pleased with our defensive effort on the defensive backboards.
Any questions for Ezra or Chad, please?
Ezra, congratulations. You had a great game. Have you ever shot that many free throws in a game? And how are you getting to the line so often?
I probably shot more, honestly. Just continue to, get my repetitions in at the free throw line and take my time. So I'm grateful for myself.
Any other questions? No.
Both players, if you guys could just talk about getting to the final here. It seemed like you were really pleased after the final whistle. How important is it to get this far? I know that the job's not done, but 2 games, 2 wins. How important is it to do that here?
I mean, it's very important because it shows, what type of team we are. We're tough. We like to play hard, and, we played 2 very hard games. So I feel like, we prepared. Coach prepared us for this moment, and I feel like, we've been responding the way we have, so.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Good job, man.
Any questions for Coach?
Coach, congratulations. Can you tell us what Rodney's injury is and how he is?
I mean, we won't know right now, probably till we get back home. But he injured his shoulder, and we'll see how he feels in the morning. It's a shoulder that he injured earlier in training camp, and so didn't feel the need to put him in until he could get further evaluated.
Anything else for Coach?
Hey, Coach Muss, what would it mean for you, kind of like how Rob asked the players, but to take a Maui championship? You were here with Arkansas a few years ago and played some very good games here. How about this year with this team?
Yeah, I mean, when you come to this tournament, it's like you got to get 1 win, and then can you figure out a way to get 2? And now we're in a position to potentially win 3. I mean, it would mean a lot. Getting to the finals means something as well, but to win tomorrow would, we have 2 Big Ten games coming up when we get out of here, and the biggest concern, quite frankly, was coming to Maui and not playing well, and then knowing that we had 2 Big Ten games to follow this up with the travel back home and all that type of stuff. So, super happy. We're learning on the fly. We're playing guys at different positions. We're running sets that we hadn't. I mean, we had a whole playbook today that we hadn't even really run before, but we were able to walk through some stuff, and our middle pick and roll was really good tonight. And I thought our first half running our normal stuff was not good against Seton Hall.
Coach, in the back, will you explain your next 3 hours, what you plan on doing? Do you guys have assistants that divide up scouts offense, defense? Do you divide up scouts by team? How are you going to watch Wazoo ASU?
Well, yeah, for sure we divide it up. During the regular season, because of the time amongst games, Todd Lee is preparing us for the other team's sets. Michael Musselman is doing the personnel. And Anthony Root is watching, the defense of the opposing team to try to figure out. When we have back-to-back-to-backs, we divide it up So like today was Coach Earl Boykins, prep. Thought he did a great job. I don't even know who's got these two teams. I mean, I was only worried about, today, but whenever we leave here, we'll go back and we'll eat. We'll have a 5 to 7 minute film session before we eat, another 5 to 7 film session after we eat, and then before dinner, a 5 to 7 minute film session, and then we'll do a walkthrough tonight, and then we'll do a walkthrough in the morning.
And I realize this is a little loaded, but I'm Phoenix Media, so I'd love to have the quote for tomorrow. If indeed you play ASU, tell me about either your time at ASU when you were an assistant or coaching against a Bobby Hurley team, or what you know about the Sun Devils now. Well,
the good thing is Bobby and I aren't going to play one-on-one because I know who would win that game. The part about Arizona State, I mean, love being there. My family loved being there. It's a great place to live. It's a great school. And I respect how Coach Hurley's put together his basketball team, to find a guy like, they're off guard that's like, where'd he come from? And then he comes out and he really, really contributes. And, they're a team that plays like their coach. They take on his personality. And so for us, it's just watching this game, evaluating this game, and then trying to come up with a game plan.
All right, one more question for Coach. Rob.
Coach, I'm doing the math. I looked at my watch. I think I did it right. 18 and a half hours from now, you're going to be back out there. You went over the schedule, but how tough is it to get right back out there in a game that's so big?
Yeah, I mean, I hope, and you want to try to recruit toughness. Because some legs are going to be a little bit, you're not going to be fresh like if you had 5 days off. This is hard as it gets to play 3 games in 3 days, and because of the time change, we're playing games super early instead of playing the games at 4 in the afternoon. So to play at 9:30 or whatever we're playing at tomorrow, that's we got to get up and figure out what time are we getting them up is the first problem, and then how much do you really eat if you let them sleep a little bit longer. So all those things are things that I haven't decided, but we will in the next hour or so.
Sorry, Coach. Everybody. One more. I'm sorry.
Okay.
One more.
Hey, Coach Muss, sorry. You mentioned a little while ago about getting ready for Big Ten play after this, and I believe so. Last year was that first kind of run through of the Big Ten for USC. Do you guys feel like? Do you kind of mentally think of yourself like we are Big Ten now? I just ask because you're going up against one of the old Pac-12s and yourselves a former Pac-12.
Do I feel like?
Yeah, like
not really. I feel like the Big Ten's a lot of non-conference games because we play teams once. I know it's not the politically correct answer, but we're going to play Purdue at our home building this year, and that's it. And it's a large conference. I feel like we're in a conference with UCLA and Washington and Oregon because we play them twice. But when you have such an unbalanced schedule, and our travel is the way it is, all I'm like, how do we survive the next game? That's kind of my philosophy once we get to conference play is just the next game, in front of us.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.